DSA1, UJ fan rants and opinion. Just not getting a chance to jump back on here and talk to y'all for a little bit. Want to talk about Bobo, Dion, Georgia offense, and maybe some other things. But starting off with the Bobo situation. Some people are saying that Georgia looked like trash the first two games. I haven't had a chance to completely watch the first two games. I've really been looking at the highlights, and as most of us know, some highlights are just basically the good parts of the game, not really too many mistakes. In the Ball State game, what was really trippy to me was the two interceptions that they threw. One was off of a tip that went up in the air pretty high and got caught, and the other one was literally off of a dude's heel, Achilles, or whatever. That was crazy. But some people are really panicking about the first two games. I mean, it's 42 or 45 points in both games, like 42 for one game, 45 for the other game. I mean, these are cupcakes. You really don't expect to come out and show out on some cupcakes. You just pretty much play a solid game plan and do what you're supposed to do and come out with a win. My concern is on that, from what I keep seeing and noticing, is that a lot of our running backs for this season are injured. And I'm saying a lot because it's supposed to be like three main running backs and then two scholarship running backs with those first three that's supposed to be there. And then I think got like another two that are walk-ons. And three of those two, one's coming back off of an injury. I think it's Milton, Roderick, or Robert Robinson. He's out for the whole season. And like one other player that's a running back, he's hurt. Then on top of that, Brock Bowers is hurt. So, I mean, it seems to be an ongoing situation as to where Georgia star players, or just players in general, I just leave it like this, star players are hurt going into the season, and we're either not going to see them for the whole season, or they're going to come back sometime during the season, and they're not going to be as effective as they would have been during a time period where they were not hurt. That is a concern for me, because it's like for the past couple of years, Georgia players are saying practice is harder than the game. The game plan in that regard, it works because it gets us to where we got to go. And to me, is the reason why Kirby Smart recruits at the level that he recruits at, as far as him being the head coach, not knocking any of the other coaches like they're not helping out, but in that regard, to where you know you're going to have some people hurt in practice. The season hasn't even started yet, and you already got X amount of players out. Then the season start, and then you could possibly lose X amount of players. So, I mean, for Georgia, in my opinion, it's always going to be next man up because of how treacherous the practices are. So, with that, I really wouldn't panic. I'm really not going to panic or even feel some type of way about it, because Georgia's been going through this for the last, 3-4 years now. So, I mean, this is, in a sense, a normal thing, a normality that's going on with Georgia. Now, with the Mike Bobo situation, people are saying Mike Bobo didn't really score any points except for the average amount of points. He didn't really get up to 40, close to 50, except for maybe 1 or 2 years. And I've also heard people say he really didn't have a squad that could get him there. To a degree, I agree 50% with that, because he's had decent offensive talent to help him get those points, but he didn't have a defense. But to another point, he has an offense with three brand new quarterbacks. They really haven't seen the field like that. And this is where my critique comes in at, or a rant would come in at, as far as last year. From to Stetson to now Beck. Stetson and Beck, they didn't get a chance to get in for real until Stetson took over for 2 years. So he needed that time frame. So like I said, last year, which rolls into this year, which is why a lot of people are having an issue with it, Carson Beck should have played more time in last year's game last year's season compared to this year, so he wouldn't look so, I guess, unappealing to the eye of other people. He would look like he knows what he's doing. Bobo would be able to put him in more situations to where he can launch the ball downfield. One of the main people I listen to is Uncle Lou, because he's really given to me an unbiased opinion on how things look. Some fans I have heard of, even Kangaroo Black, because he was ranting today and giving people 3 minutes. Giving people 3 minutes to say what they got to say, because he ain't really want to hear it. But like I said in some previous videos, I give Kangaroo Black credit. He's a fan that do not run from eating crow. He gonna eat his crow. He gonna say what he got to say. He gonna keep it pushing. But it was kind of funny hearing that. Seeing him do that to certain people, or to people in general. Now, on to the Deion Sanders, Coach Prime per se, talking about the fan bases and media outlets and so on and so forth. Like I said months ago when I was having technical difficulties and learning new things, I give him 6 and 6, which also goes to something I've said numerous times, and I don't know how many people watch, because I don't check it like that for real, and I really don't have time like that to check it. But